Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video, as I had promised in my previous video, I'm gonna show you my 2024 colored pencil collection, right? I don't know if I should be embarrassed or what, I don't know. But my coloring journey started in April of 2024, and the amount of pencils I have acquired between then and December, it is wow. It's astonishing. Anyway, let us get right into it. Now, this is the first set I purchased. This is the Color. The brand is not even there. Now, the brand is not even there. So I purchased this in April when I just started my journey, my coloring journey. And of course, what I did, I looked for the cheapest. I looked for the cheapest brand. But by that time, I was actually watching, no, I don't think at that time I probably got any recommendations from YouTube. I think what I did, I just went on Amazon searching for a nice cheap set. And at the time, I think they were having a sale and I decided to get this. So as you can see, the brand is not even on the box itself, but these are Color pencils and they are pretty good pencils. And if you're thinking of starting adult coloring, this is a good set to start with. And I think I got it for under $20 at the time because it was on sale. And if you look very closely, you can see that I have used quite a number of them. And yeah, like this, for example, it's pretty short. What color is this? Wow. Oh, this is off black. I'm not certain why off black so short. Oh yeah, I think I remember why I used it on a Kirby Rosanes illustration. Yeah. So yeah, so you can see just how much of the pencil I have used. And I have a couple of them that look like this, right? Alright, so yeah, so this is my first set of colored pencils, and I still use them from time to time. And I like how they color. Yeah, they're not bad. In terms of blending, to be honest, I have not been using them much. And I started using them when I just started my journey, when I didn't have much experience. But they didn't do too badly. I think the blending was okay. But one of the things that I prefer you do when you go on Amazon searching for a pencil, ensure you find, just read the description, ensure that they're premium colored pencils with a soft core. That is what you want, especially if you're thinking of taking on a more intricate illustrations, like a Kirby Rosanes, for example. Or even if you're going to do a Mario Trolls, you need to do a little blending somewhere at some point. But let me just show you what I did with this. I'm just going to show you one illustration I've done, or two. I'm going to show you two. So remember, this is the first book I started with. So it would have meant then that the pencils I used during that time would have been my Color pencils. And they didn't do too badly on the Amazon paper. I'm not a big fan of the Amazon paper, but it didn't do too badly. And this set actually comes with a blender. And the blender works well on this paper. Alright. And I also did, this is from Circle of Life, but I also did this illustration with the Color pencils, and I think it's still one of my best illustrations. So yeah, man, these pencils, they're good starter pencils and they're relatively inexpensive. Okay, and the set also comes with a white pen. So if you notice some little white dots here, that is a white pen that came along with this set. Alright, then after I purchased my faithful color pencils, I somehow was introduced to the Sucolor pencils. I can't remember exactly how I got onto the Sucolor pencils. I don't know if it's from YouTube channels or just searching on, no, I think it's probably from YouTube. It's definitely from YouTube. So I got this after that. And these are relatively inexpensive too. So this is a set of 180 Sucolor pencils, right? I think the color probably goes up to 520. Yeah, I think when you have that many pencils, I think sometimes it makes it a little difficult for you to decide what colors to use. I just think it makes the process a little bit more overwhelming. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, yeah, so I got the Sucolor 180 pencils, and these are supposed to be soft core colored pencils. At the time, I thought these were like the premium pencils based on how they were being promoted on YouTube, right? And they blend well. I must say, they blend well. They're not bad at all. And like I said, it's 180. The set actually comes with your, they call it a color card, but of course I call it a swatch chart. Yeah, so you can see that I've been using it because I had to tape it up because it's torn in parts, right? Especially where you have the creases, it's torn. So I just decided to just tape up the entire thing, right, to prevent it from tearing any further, just to preserve it, really. Alright, so yeah, you have to swatch all 180, and this is basically what the interior looks like. So you can see that I've been using my pencils, some more than others, and there are 6 trays. Yeah, 6 trays. Ooh. So you can see I've been using them. Right, and it has a lot of greens, as you can see. That's one of the things I noticed, has a lot of greens, right? So it's actually 6 trays. Right, 6 is what, 18, so 13 each of the trays. Yeah, so these are nice. It does not come with a blender. I've been using it with the Color blender, which I don't know, sometimes it seems to work, other times it doesn't. But what I find though is that you don't actually need to use a blender, because a blender is really wax without pigment. So what you can do when you're blending your pencils, what you want to do is probably use a pencil from the lightest pencil from the same color family to do the blending. You can do that. That works. Alright, so yes, as we speak about blenders, I think I overused a blender from the first color set I showed you, and because of that I went ahead and bought these. Right, so these are blenders, and I've had them from last year. I can't remember exactly when I bought them, but I've had them for a little while now. And because I learned this trick of using the lightest color basically to do the blending, I don't really need them, but it's good to have though, in the event that you want to maintain a particular shade. Right, but I guess over time you probably understand what I mean by that. Alright, so I'm finished with my Color, but I want to show you something. I want to show you what I use my Color pencils to do. Now, I use the Color pencils to color. I don't want to tell you lies. Alright, tell you what. Let us use this as an example. So I used the Color pencils to do this illustration, and I did, yeah, and it came up pretty well. It came up pretty good. And I did this to compare with the Prismacolor. So these are the Prismacolors, yeah. Now let us just move on to the Prismacolor pencil, so you can see that the quality is pretty decent, right? And they're good at layering. That's one thing I discovered too, that they're good at layering, because under the green is brown. What happened is, when I started doing this, I decided I'd have used the brown in the background, but never quite like how the brown look. I was gonna put the white over the brown, so what I did now, I just went over it with the green and without erasing the brown, and look at that, came out pretty good. So yeah, the Sukcolor pencils are pretty decent, not bad at all. Nothing that I noticed though with each of these pencils, that they perform differently based on the texture of the paper you're using, and that is why I'm a little particular about the type of paper my illustrations are printed on, and I tend to prefer the thicker pages, because I usually get a better coverage, or the quality of the coloring turns out better on the thicker papers as opposed to Amazon paper. But I guess as I become more experienced, I probably will, I probably have a different appreciation for the Amazon paper. Alright, so let me show you now the next set of pencils I got. Alright, so I got the Prismacolor pencils. I started with this set because the Prismacolor pencils are a little pricey. I mean, they're pricey out there, like Derwent, and you have Faber-Castell Polychromos, which I want to get. Yeah, so yeah, I can imagine I still want to buy more. Yeah, so this hobby can be a little expensive, but you have to curb yourself and just take your time as you go along. Right, so I got, this was the next set I got, right? Now, usually when I am testing the more expensive set of pencils, I try to find a set that probably has a count of 36, because they tend to be a lot cheaper than the sets that have 48 to 72 and so on. And I just tested it. I just tested to see if I like it, because not because it's more expensive means that you're gonna like it, right? So I got this. It doesn't come with a swatch chart, by the way, so I just created my own little swatch chart. And oops, it's upside down. Yeah, but what I find with these pencils, I mean, really rich in pigment, really good with the blending and the layering, really love them. So when I have what I consider to be hard illustrations to do, like my Kirby Razanes, I prefer to use these for my Kirby Razanes, right? Because usually they need a lot of color build up and stuff, and I find the Prismacolors to be good at that. I'm not saying that other pencils are not good at it, it's just that when you use these Prismacolor pencils, how they lay on the paper in terms of the pigment, what am I trying to say? Right, so it transfers a lot of pigment under little pressure to the paper. And if you guys have been noticing my videos, based on how I hold the pencil, when I hold the pencil like this, it means that I'm applying a lot of pressure. And even though I might hold the pencil like this to apply a lot of pressure, I don't really have to apply that much when I'm using my Prismacolor pencils. But I find that it's a little easier and a lot more relaxing for me when I use my Prismacolor pencils, when I do my Kirby Razanes illustrations and other illustrations that require a lot of detail. Alright, so yes, I got this. Oh, I got this, and then I got these, what do you call it now? These very thin Prismacolor pencils. But what you find with these very thin pencils is that they have a harder core. So I got this under the misconception that these soft cores couldn't take on details, because over time, not really over time, but what happens with these pencils, because the core is so soft, they don't maintain a point for very long, right? And I realized that it really depends on how you sharpen them. So I actually have this Prismacolor. I have this Prismacolor sharpener, right? And if you notice, you have actually 2 holes. So this hole actually gives you a more narrow, longer point, and this one gives you a shorter, broader point. So I find that when I use this hole to give me a narrow, longer point, I can actually use these pencils to do the more intricate details. These pencils are really good for drawing, sketching, stuff like that, but I still use them when I can, because the blending I learned is not so good with the very thin. It's a lot better with the softer core pencils. But don't let me deter you from trying them if you want to. Just don't break the bank. Alright, now after this, hey, I got this skin tone. I got the skin tone. No, I'm terrible. I got these skin tone pencils, right? And this actually has some of these, but it's not a big difference really. And yeah, so after I got this, yeah, but now I have a Prismacolor obsession. So after I got that, I got this set, yeah, I'm now a Prismacolor girl, right? So after I got these, I got this, right? This is a 72 count, but I got this when it was on sale. I think this was during what's that sale that they have? But anyway, I got it on sale for almost half the price, so I just couldn't miss that deal. All right, so these are my pencils. Oops, yeah. And then I made these little color cards. And what I find though with the Prismacolor pencils is that sometimes these points, they break easily. So like this one, for example, I don't know if it's rotten, the pencil rotten. Do colored pencils get rotten? I'm not certain. But this, I had to be sharpening it just to get to this point. And that is a part of the reason why it is so short. Yeah. But outside of that, the breakage, they are pretty good pencils. And another thing too that I did, I got a blender. I got a blender for these pencils, yep. So I actually have 3, I believe. Yes, I have 3. And the blenders come in handy, even though I have that little trick where I just use the lightest. Alright, let me just give you an example. But I mean, when you look at my videos, you can see. So let us say that I'm coloring something orange, and I've chosen, let's say I've chosen these colors, this 1, 2, 3, right? I'd probably start with this, and then I continue with this, and then I do a little shadowing with this. So if I think that the color transition is too sharp, I can just go in with a lighter color. I can probably go back with this color that I started with, or I can go with something a little lighter. But you have to be very careful because they layer well. So this can actually dilute your color. Alright, I hope I'm not going too fast. I just don't want to keep it too long. I've already gone 18 minutes. Alright, so I'll just give an example of what I've colored with these Prismacolor pencils, including the very thin. Alright, so yeah, so we're going back to this illustration. And yeah, so remember, this is a Suicolor. I did it here just as a comparison to the Prismacolor. So all of these are Prismacolor illustrations. And these, I think, yeah, this is really the first things I colored with the Prismacolor pencils. And for the little details like this, I use my very thin pencils. Yeah, easier because the points are a lot harder, easier to control. Yeah, so I mean, it's not a bad investment really. Yeah, and not only that, I want to start drawing too, so eventually I'll get there. I also used the Prismacolor pencils to do this, right? So I use the Prismacolor pencils to do this, and of course, like I said, with the blending, layering is really good with the Prismacolor pencils. All right, now let us move on to the last 3 items I have here. Yes, last 3. Can you imagine? Oh, Alright, so I got these. These are skin tone pencils. I have not used them yet, can you believe it? Well, not to any great extent. Yeah, it looks almost new, right? Yeah, they're not bad too. These are pretty good. Black Widow pencils are good. So if you're thinking of getting a starter set, because I do have larger sets, you can consider getting the Black Widow pencils. Right, and I got these are watercolor pencils. Right, I have not used my watercolor pencils yet. I really got them with the intention of using them with the Metagraphic series, and I'm just afraid. I'm just so afraid. I haven't even done a swatch yet, but I'm gonna do that this year for sure. And this is 72. This is a really nice kit, a nice travel kit if you wish to go to the beach or some place to color. And yeah, it's a nice set. I take it again. Well, I mean, I have not tried it, so I don't even know if it will be worth it, right? Then I got this as a gift. No, this is really nice. I mean, these are cheap. So if you're thinking of starting and you don't know, you don't know where exactly to go, you can start with these Starjoy pencils. They are nice, and they don't color badly at all, right? And it comes with this tool that you can use to extend the length of your pencils. And I'd recommend, if you're gonna buy a set and it doesn't have something like this as a pencil extender, you should get one, because when the points get really short, you don't want to throw them away. Or sorry, not the points, when the pencils get very short, you don't want to throw away the pencil. You would want to probably continue using it until you just can't anymore. So you just put it in this end and it basically extend the length of the pencil, make it a lot easier for you to color with. I think there's probably some affiliation with Faber-Castell, because the sharpener says Faber-Castell and so does the eraser. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, and the sharpener, it sharpens well, and it's important that you get a good sharpener. All right, and this is my makeshift or my DIY swatch chart. And I'm gonna show you what I use these Starjoy pencils to color, so you can have an idea of how they lay on paper. And I did a Mario-Trol with this, and it's on my channel, you know. It is on my channel, right? So I did this with the Starjoy pencils, and yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. You just need to know how to use, you know, these pencils. And of course, each time you get a different pencil, you have to learn how to use it. So each set has its own learning curve. And if this looks a little glitter, it's because I had used some glitter gel pens here. All right, well, that's it for my colored pencils. In my next video, I will share with you the additional tools that I use. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.